Hello, everybody. I have just been wanting to share an experience about um, some thoughts I had about taking my kids to the playground the other day. And I honestly didn't feel like writing it out, so that's why I'm sharing a video. Um, so the other day, I took my kids to the playground, and we don't typically go to the playground. It's just been a new thing that I've been starting recently. And I realized that, my kids were asking me to play in the playground, and I really didn't want to play on the playground. And I was like, I'm sure there's lots of parents that play with their kids on the playground. But I looked around, and most parents were either on their phone or they were just sitting there watching their kids. And I started, chasing after my kids on the playground and climbing, the towers and things like that. And I realized that I was like super scared to do that. And they had this like super scary looking rope thing. And I was like, I know that I'm going to be okay, so why am I so scared about this? And there was even this log, like it was a big giant log that you'd walk across, and I wouldn't have fell more than like 5 feet, but like I was super scared to do this. And I realized that it's not that I'm really scared of falling, like that it's scared of heights. It's more that I'm scared of hurting myself, and I'm scared of spraining an ankle, or I'm scared of pulling a muscle, or something like that. Something where I would have to sit there and I would have to feel the pain of my body being hurt. And it made me think about when I used to play on the playground when I was younger, and I never had these fears because I didn't know that. I didn't know what it would feel like if I hurt myself, so I didn't know to be afraid of that. And it made me think about other moms and whether or not they were scared of their kids to play on the playground. Because, I'm like looking at all the playground equipment and where my kids could fall, and, where the crying's going to happen and things like that. And how my kids, they just want to play. And they want to climb to the top of the tower, and they're not thinking about falling. And, when thinking about the avoidance of that pain, it's really kind of made me aware of how I do that in a lot of things in my life. How, for instance, I don't want to clean the kitty litter box because I don't want to smell the smell of everything that's in there. I don't really want to do the dishes because I don't want to get my hands in there and feel the greasy, grimy nastiness. And I could go on and on and on. I don't want to do without toilet paper because I just don't want to. And I thought about today about how I used to really, really like ice skating. And I used to spend hours and hours and hours practicing ice skating. And when I would ice skate and I would learn things, I would fall a lot, and it would hurt. It would hurt a lot. But I would just dust myself off and I would get back up and I would do it again because I was so excited to learn a new technique or a new move. And, remembering that, it made me think about how the pain was actually, it ended up turning into pleasure. And that if I had avoided falling all the time, I would never have learned, and I would never have had the pleasure of experiencing what it felt like to spin or do jumps or things like that. And that the playground is actually a place for kids to fall so that they can learn, for one, I guess what it feels like to get their balance and things like that. And, it's a place for them to learn to have social experiences, and it's just simply a place to learn. And that falling and going through painful experiences really ends up being pleasure when we go back and we look at it. And, if we look at the experience that we're going through right now with everything, we can look that, yes, Like in some cases, this is very painful. In some cases, for instance, we don't have any bouncy house rentals right now because who wants to rent a bouncy house? Because nobody's going to come to parties. My son is having a birthday party on March 22nd, and I'm not doing anything. I haven't invited anybody, and I'm just postponing it. And it's his 13th birthday because I don't want to infect anybody. I don't want to spread anything around. So, you know, in some ways this has been a painful experience, but in other ways it has been a very, very rewarding experience. And for instance, I now realize that there's other people that live in my neighborhood besides us because I see them walking around and I hear them and they're waving, you know, and I now appreciate a hug a lot more than I used to. I enjoyed giving hugs, but now I realize that, you know, a hug's something very special, and it's not just always there. So, anyways, in a nutshell, that's what I've been experiencing right now, and I just wanted to share that with everybody. I hope you guys are, you know, keeping it together, I guess, wherever you guys are, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks.